It seems that the positive momentum from yesterday has carried through to today and really being driven by golds and other mining shares, as Alicia said.
Yes, I think the euro has clawed back a little bit against the dollar. We see the commodity prices increasing over the last 2 days. We see gold at over 1100 quite firmly, and still a little bit of buying coming in there. So a lot of the gold stocks up, a lot of the general miners up, and pushing our market up over the last 2 days.
Of course, we have that euro firming, but really not much news coming out on what the European Union plans to do to help Greece. Why do you think we're seeing this firmer momentum?
Well, I think that the debts in Greece, the market feels that there will definitely be a solution for Greece and the countries around Greece as well. But obviously, not any individual country like Germany wants to put too much money into Greece to help them. So they want to obviously get a broad-based plan out where no individual country in the European Union is put under pressure. So I think it's just going to take a little bit of time, but definitely that there will be a solution. And you can see from the yields on the bonds in Greece that the market does expect them definitely to have some type of help from the European zone, and that's where that euro is getting a little bit of strength from.
Okay, lots of corporate news on the local front today. We had those results up from ABSA and also from its parent company Barclays a little bit earlier. ABSA headline earnings per share down by 25.5%, and really in line with the trading update that they put out previously. Impairments, retail impairments appear to have peaked. The corporate impairments, and particularly in commercial banking, looks like there's still going to be some deterioration there.
Well, the impairment on the commercial side is a little bit worrying. It had trebled over last year, and they say, I think this morning, that they expect them still to increase in the first half of this year and only start to come down in the second half of this year. And I think that is a little bit worrying. Currently, the impairments are about 872 million rand. And the problem with corporate impairments is you can have very big businesses on your books that are under pressure and that can collapse. So there is a bit of risk on that side. I think the retail impairments, although very high, are definitely looking slightly better, and I think that's less of a risk. But on the corporate side, there is a bit of risk there, and obviously, as one of the biggest lenders in the country, you have to see what quality of impairments they have there, and how bad those bad debts really are.
Loans and advances also slowing down last year. And of course, we've had money supply and credit extension numbers after the past few months showing negative, if not flat, numbers there. How do you grow your loans and advances in an environment where people are simply just not borrowing?
Well, the consumer is very indebted at the moment, and it's going to take a very long and slow process for consumers to start to lend again. I think that an interest rate cut possibly can help if there is one later in the year, and that also depends a lot on the Eskom tariff hike, and if they get a slightly less increase there, then we might have some way to reduce the interest rate slightly. That might help. Secondly, even though they've got very high impairments on the corporate side, corporate debt, if you give corporate debt out to the right businesses that are managed well, they can really help the economy as well. They'll employ people, and as they employ people, so that indebtedness of the consumer will diminish. So I think you have to loan to the right businesses, and those businesses in turn will start to create growth.
Barclays reporting very strong results, obviously coming off of a low base, and obviously benefiting from the sale of Barclays Global Investors. And their shares were up close to 7% just a short while ago, so much better momentum there than an ABSA share price. Implications for ABSA with the parent doing well at this point?
Obviously, it does help ABSA. They've had quite a lot of write-offs from their single stock futures and a lot of impairments that they're still under pressure with. And obviously, if their parent company is starting to produce really good revenues, if they do need help or they need some extension in funding, they can always get that from Barclays. So definitely, to have your parent company making such big earnings is definitely good for them. And I think that's you can see it in the share price today. As their numbers came out, they were down about 1.4%, and after the Barclays numbers, they actually turned positive and now trading quite firmly positive at the moment. So definitely a help for ABSA there.
Comair's results and profits up by 3%, so quite flattish. Revenue under pressure at this stage, but then it has been quite a tough year for airline operators, hasn't it?
Yes, I think quite good earnings if you take a look at other airlines around the world, etc., and also locally. I think they've done quite well. Their passenger numbers actually stayed the same, which probably means they've taken a little bit of a share from other providers, because obviously the air travel has come down as a whole. So I think they're holding up quite well there. They've done very well in their costings and actually looking to expand as well. Just waiting for some financing to come through, and they're looking to get another 8 aircraft, which is very promising for Comair, and doing relatively good. And they should get a little boost over the World Cup as well in revenues.
Also had trading updates out of Mondi and Tongaat Hewlett. Mondi expecting quite a sharp fall in basic earnings per share. Tongaat Hewlett, though, expecting a 40 to 45% rise. So good news from Tongaat Hewlett.
Tongaat, look, we have to take a look at those numbers properly, but they say up by 40 to 45%, and that is excluding 1.9 billion that they've made in Zimbabwe after the consolidation of businesses in Zimbabwe. So really good numbers coming out from Tongaat in that trading update. Obviously the numbers are out on the 1st of March. We'll have to take a closer look. On Mondi's side, the paper industry is still under pressure. We see it also a little bit with SAPI. They had a charge of 182 million euros that they had to pay, and that's also impacted their earnings. And we'll have to just wait to see when there's full earnings come out, if they're managing to have any growth areas in that paper business.
Rob, we have a very busy reporting day on Thursday. Tomorrow, though, the focus is going to be on the budget that Praveen Gordhan presents to Parliament. What are you going to be looking for in that budget?
I think obviously there's a lot of pressure on how they're going to get revenue. They've got a big budget deficit, and they're going to have to be very careful on how they spend that money and how they get money in. So I think the higher earning public might be taxed slightly more. There's 1 or 2 rumours about a dividend tax, but I don't think that will come in currently in this budget. And we'll just have to really see is where they're going to get the revenue for the budget. I think obviously the luxury goods will be taxed quite extensively. We'll have to see also if there's going to be a higher levy on petrol as well that we might see in that budget.